Good afternoon and welcome to AUMcuisine. Today we will be exploring the flavors of one of my favorite countries in the whole world, Morocco. So I'm going to make for you a beautiful Casablanca inspired stew, and we're going to be making it in a tagine. So this is a tagine. So it's got a little funnel, and this is the one that's made from Le Creuset. It's not really a traditional one, but this one's made out of an wrought iron skillet type of a cast iron. It's really nice. So it does not need any pre-seasoning. But in a traditional tagine, you would need to pre-season at least up to a day in advance. So I have some olive oil in here already. And to that, I'm going to be adding in some minced onions. I'm a huge fan of Moroccan food, the Moroccan culture, their cooking, and definitely the tagine. So there are lots of the Moroccan stews that are in fact called tagines, named after the tagine. And the tagine was created by the Berbers of North Africa, and one of the most delightful thing about it is it's infused flavored stews, and you add very little water. So when all of the flavors go into this funnel, they condense and go back and trickle down into the stew. So that's what really happens with the tagine. So you're going to see how beautifully these flavors come together. So just some olive oil, the onions, minced onions, they work really well with this. And now I'm going to be putting in a Romanesco, a zucchini Romanesco squash. This has previously been marinated with some garlic and red chili flakes, olive oil, and some salt. So I'm going to put that as one of the layers. And then some previously cooked lima beans. We're going to put that in as one layer. As you know, we are all about vegan cooking. So tagines are normally used to tenderize meat. You can cook fish in it, but this channel, since it's about vegan cooking, this is what we are going to be doing. So usually you might have heard that you always want to put the meat first. You always want to put the fish first, right? With this, we actually put the vegetables first, so that they serve as a base, and then the meat is placed if you were doing this with a fish stew and so forth. So then on top of this, I'm going to be putting in some carrots. I like it for the flavor and the color. And then I'm not going to use any water. I'm going to use a pureed tomato. Okay. Now to that, I'm going to be adding in about a teaspoon of cumin powder. And over here, I have the stems of the royal trumpet mushroom. I've already added some parsley and some basil and thyme. So just dried herbs. So I'm going to layer that on top like so. And since there is salt in the zucchini Romanesco, I'm not really putting too much of salt right now. And on top of this, I'm going to be adding in my mushroom of choice. You can add any mushroom you like. The mushroom, remember, gives out a lot of water. There is no reason to put it in right in the beginning. And then I'm going to be adding in some multicolored cherry tomatoes. See how pretty that looks? Beautiful. Just so super cute. Traditional tagine cooking would warrant you to be extremely patient, because you only do it on a really slow flame. We don't have to do that, so thanks to the people of Le Creuset for creating this. So once you put the tomatoes in, so I like to allow the tomatoes to be facing out like so, rather than in. And I'll tell you the reason for that, because I like to salt it from a top of it. And if you do it in the base, really, you're not really salting the tomato. So we're going to do it like this. And then we're going to salt it. Just a sprinkle on top. And then we're going to put it in a handful of cilantro. Do you see how pretty that looks? My goodness, so, so good. So I'm not going to throw in any water. I'm just going to allow it to cook with the juices of the blended tomato. That's it, nothing else, right? And we're going to be placing some coconut oil right on top, just a little bit, maybe 1 teaspoon tops, and then close it. So we're going to give that about 15 to 20 minutes, and I'll show you what happens after. Welcome back, and it is time to do the great reveal. That is insanely beautiful. So, so beautiful. Bring it down, and then now it's time to stir. So we're going to stir it like so. Beautiful. So this is a perfect cooked, infused, no water Moroccan tagine. This is really inspired by Casablanca, and all of the different times I've been there, the kind of flavors I got in Fes, and the flavors in Casablanca, and the flavors of Marrakesh were all completely different. And I've stayed at many, many little riads and homes there and learned cooking, and I also kind of employ my own AUMcuisine twist with the flavors. But I do love North African food. You know, I like Ethiopian food, I love Moroccan food, and to do it all with the delicate flavors being, it's almost like it is, I don't like to use the word trapped, I'd like to say it being celebrated within one little dome, and then we get to open it. It's so beautiful. And what's lovely about the traditional tagine is that there are these little ones, you know, so you can make individual potions. They put them in the oven or cook them in the raw embers, and they just lift it up, and there it is. So you can actually eat it directly off this or serve it family style. Okay, so for the finishing stroke on this absolutely intricate flavored delicacy, I'm just going to be putting in some cilantro right on top. The colors really pop alive. I'm going to be putting just a smidget of salt, just so it's the finishing, you know, and then you drop a little bit and throw it over your shoulder for some good luck. And some cumin, because it is kind of a spice of Morocco as much as it is a spice of India. And there you have it. Let's do a little taste test. Perfect. This is just like a kiss from paradise. Just completely beautiful. Plenty of European flavors, you know, from France and Italy, and at the same time the earthiness of North Africa, and the fulfillment of great nourishment. I cannot wait to go back to Morocco once this COVID situation is done. Until we meet again in another global experience of AUMcuisine. This is Vaidya Priyanka.